Welcome to Let's Play Dragon Wars for the Apple IIGS by Interplay. Before we start the game, I will read the introduction from the manual, as it sets some fairly important background. Orbiting the star Sirius, millions of miles from any other intelligent life, a tiny ball of hot water is home to amazing adventure. Sirius is 3 times the mass of our own star and 60 times brighter. Its huge bloated mass spans the entire horizon of the humid world of Oceania. Oceania is a world 85% of water and getting wetter as the baleful fury of Sirius erodes her diminutive polar ice caps year by year. Oceania is a world burning the candle at both ends, enjoying twice the light in half the time, and spinning all the faster toward annihilation and the void. Her surface is dotted with 10,000 islands. Some are home to thriving civilization, while others are all that remain of greater achievements long since sunk beneath the waves. Oceania is a violent world of capricious storms, where natural geographic barriers and hostile sea life hold people and empires apart. In no time of her history has Oceania known unified rule. Of all the islands of Oceania, the most fabled by far is Dillman, the land where the sun sets. Located on a score of nautical charts, each time in a different place, Dillman is always just over the horizon. It is the home to all that is best of Oceania, the home of her eldest empire, the seat of her finest culture, the lair of her most terrible beasts. It is an isle of dragons and a destination of pilgrims. Beneath Nisir, the mountain of salvation, is the secret heart of Magan, the underworld. As your adventure begins, you find yourself aboard an armored pilgrim's barge, nosing through the still waters of a silent fjord, nearing the moment you will drop the plank on an isle you believe to be Dillman. Perhaps you are a pilgrim in search of peace and enlightenment, or an adventurer on the trail of fabled treasure, or a weary mercenary seeking retirement and eternal slumber in vaults held high above the waves. Hopes are high as the incredibly ancient architecture of this isle's lone port swims into view. Rapture is just off the bow. As it turns out, Purgatory is just off the bow. Rapture may or may not lay beyond the walls of the port city. No sooner does the pilgrim's barge enter the harbor than she is boarded by city officials, who quickly put all crew and passengers under arrest. Stripped of all possessions and wealth, 1 pilgrim in every 10 is separated from the pack for sacrifice to the dragons. Your party is among the fortunate remainder dropped naked and defenseless into the slums of Purgatory, there to fare as you will. The armored barge is confiscated and made a part of Dillman's rapidly growing navy, a navy that will one day sally out across the seas of Oceania, at long last bringing her beneath the heel of a single ruler, Namtar, the beast from the pit. Back to basics in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods anywhere, you know only you've been had. A well-intentioned traveler, you've been treated like a beast by Namtar and consigned to a life of perpetual poverty in Purgatory. No one escapes Purgatory alive, and few know the luxury to die in bed within her walls. Starting hip-deep in mud, you must use every trick just to stay alive, much less worry about sticking it to the beast from the pit. And with no further ado, let's start Dragon Wars GS. And we'll hit return to get past the title screen, impressive though its graphics and sound may be. Stripped of all possessions and wealth, you've been dropped naked and defenseless into the slums of Purgatory by order of Namtar, the beast from the pit. No one escapes purgatory alive, and few know the luxury to die in bed within her walls. And there we have it. So the first order of business is to discard the characters that the game has created for you and create our own party. I will proceed to do that. Are you sure you wish to dismiss Muscles forever? Yes, I am. Same for Theb and Elendil. Now you can't dismiss your last party member, so I'll have to start creating our party first. So to create a new character, I don't remember the keyboard shortcut. Command Z. Name your new character. Well, we will name our leader of the party Ken Kniff. Is Ken Kniff male or female? Definitely male. Alright, so we have 50 skill points to assign. Skill points are rare and precious in this game. You get 3 pages of skills. First, your basic attributes: strength, dexterity, intelligence, spirit, health. You have a list of general skills, lore knowledge, that type of thing. And you have, mostly, a list of magical skills and weapon skills. Now, in this game, the weapon skills they increase your either attack value or maybe the amount of damage you do, but in any case, they're not the most useful skills. It is better to spend your skills on general attributes. So, for Ken here, we're going to give him... Oh, stuck key on the keyboard. We are not going to give him 37 strength. That is too much. Oh. Alright, hold on. Alright, with the keyboard unstuck, we're going to give Ken 18 strength to begin with. As far as I can tell, and from what I've read, the only thing that strength in this game does is determine what weapons you can use. That is, each weapon has a minimum strength requirement for use. I don't believe that extra strength beyond that increases the amount of damage you do with the weapon, although that may be possible. We will up Ken's dexterity to 20. Dexterity in this game is very important, possibly the most important stat for a non-primary magic user. Each 4 dexterity points that you have increases your attack value and defense value by 1. In turn, the attack value determines how likely it is that you will hit when you make an attack, and the defense value increases the likelihood that you will dodge or perhaps block an attack when you are attacked. Intelligence is only of use for magic users, which Ken will mostly not be one of. Same for spirit. Health, of course, is important for everyone, and we will increase Ken's health to 14. Health in this game literally translates to hit points. I think it is a 2-to-1 match. I think for every point of health, you get 2 hit points. Stun is also influenced by health. In this game, you can take real damage, which diminishes your health, which has to be healed either via bandaging or magic. Stun damage, on the other hand, just knocks you out if you acquire too much of it, and it is automatically healed at the end of every combat. So that's all for Ken's basic statistics. We also want to give Ken 1 point in the climb skill and 1 point in the low magic skill. You'll see that low magic is relatively expensive compared to the other skills, costing 5 points for the first, costing 5 experience points for the first point and 2 thereafter. Also note that opening low magic for a character reveals high magic, sun magic, and druid magic, each of which cost 10 points for the initial skill point, and then 2 points additional thereafter. Ken, however, is not going to learn any magic besides low magic, and we will leave his 8 remaining skill points to be distributed later in the game. You still have 8 points left to distribute. Do you wish to go back and distribute them? No, not at this time. Alright, so there's Ken. We can now dismiss Cheetah, the remaining built-in character, and create our next character, who we will name Slim Shady. I'm sure Slim Shady is a big adventurer, so that's why he's in this game. Slim Shady is also male. Slim Shady is also going to be primarily a fighter, not a magic user, so we will give him Strength 17, Dexterity 20, no additional intelligence or spirit, and you cannot deduct from the built-in 10 intelligence and spirit to regain points, which is unfortunate. We will also up Slim's health to 14. Slim Shady, appropriately enough for the persona, is going to get 1 point in the lockpick skill, and 1 point in low magic. In fact, every character that we create will get at least 1 point in low magic. And as with Ken, the remaining 8 points we will distribute later in the game. No, I do not wish to distribute them now. Our next character will be Dr. Dre. Now, Dr. Dre will become a magic user beyond low magic later in the game. In fact, Dr. Dre will be primarily a magic user, although not a totally incompetent fighter. So we were only going to give him 12 strength, 16 dexterity. Dexterity, in addition to attack and defense value, determines the order in which each character moves during combat, in order from highest to lowest. 16 intelligence. Intelligence is used only for the ability to learn a magic spell. Each spell has a minimum intelligence required to learn it. Once you have learned the spell, intelligence has no further effect on casting the spell. Spirit, however, increases one's mana, magic points. And as a future magic user, Dr. Dre is going to need quite a few spirit points. 18 to be specific. You'll see that the power, meaning magic point statistic, increased when I added that. And Dr. Dre will start off with 12 health. Dr. Dre does not need any skills from this page. However, we are going to give him 1 point in bureaucracy, which in this game largely refers to the ability to speak publicly in a convincing manner. Although in one particular case in the game, Dr. Dre will have to engage in literal bureaucracy with offices and officials and whatnot. Dr. Dre will get low magic right off the bat, as with the rest of the party, and Dr. Dre will acquire other magic skills later in the game. Dr. Dre still has 4 points left to distribute, which I do not wish to do at this time. Okay, so for our last character, who will be Snoop Dogg, Snoop Dogg is also going to be primarily a magic user, so we will give him, like Dr. Dre, 12 strength, 16 dexterity, 16 intelligence, 18 spirit, and 12 health. Snoop Dogg, I should say, will also start off with 1 point in the bandage skill. Bandage is one of the most important skills in this game. After combat, in which case the party members are wounded, one can use the bandage skill to restore the health points of each party member. However, the maximum number of points that the member can be returned to is limited by the skill level of the bandager. I don't remember the exact mapping between bandage skill and number of health points, so we will probably be adding more bandage points to Snoop quite soon, as that becomes evident. In addition to bandage, as with everybody else, Snoop will start off with 1 point of low magic. And we will distribute his remaining 3 points later. Alright, so we have our 4 main party members created. You'll notice that there is space on the screen for 3 more party members beneath Snoop Dogg there, but if you try to create one, you are told that you cannot. The remaining 3 party slots can be filled by heroic volunteers who you may encounter in the game and wish to join your party, or by apparitions summoned by various magic spells and items. Alright, well, we're almost 20 minutes into things here. I think this is a good time to save the game. Saving is very important in this game. It is quite easy to have party members die or come to disastrous outcomes. We will make a new folder. Not sure why I said that. We will create a new folder for this Let's Play. See if we need to give the name there. LP1. Alright. And we will call this Save 1. Very creative. And with that, I think we will leave the beginning of our adventure in Purgatory to the next video.